This episode is going to keep Greg busy for the next 6 months. I'm a master student in exercise science, and I recently was reading an article by Brad Schoenfeld and saw that it was funded by RP Strength, which is Dr. Mike's company. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. His connections run deep. Coach Greg and editor Steve are going to go crazy on this.
What's scary is the business guy that does know what he's doing and purposely does it wrong.
Oh, like Derek from More Plates, More Dates. I'm so happy that they brought this up.
What's up, guys? This is Derek from MorePlatesMoreDates.com. Today we're going to be... Thank you, Greg.
The businessman that knows what he's doing, but purposely doesn't try to get it right. I mean, I could do a whole video on this, but we're not gonna talk about it. But let me remind you how Turk Builder Max is 100% legit, and Turkplex, well, it doesn't have Ajuga turkestanica. And so you can debate me with me all night long, but I'm going to win. And so if you want to get actual Ajuga, you gotta get it from HTLT Supplements, code Greg, 15% off. Bringing up Derek.
You know, Derek from More Dates has gorilla mind, and you know, he's not a pro athlete or anything, but at least he's very genuine in his approach.
Genuine in his approach! I mean, this is just this. I mean, it's not his fault. You know, he's gone through a lot of hard times, but he hasn't kept up to date. He doesn't realize what Derek has actually done. He doesn't know the scandal of Turkesterone with Turkplex. He doesn't know about the tests they've done on various supplements, vindicating HTLT supplements, and proving that Derek did not sell Ajuga turkestanica, but that it was most likely cyanosis. And so imagine sitting there thinking that Derek is such a genuine guy, when if you know the dirt on Derek the way I do, well, you know what we need to do? We need to get Solomon to make another video. The Triple Towers. We've already taken down Mike Israetel. We've taken down Jeff Nippod. And next, Derek for More Plates, More Dates. I mean, if you knew, how many times do I make shit up? How many times have I been proven right? And so, if you've been watching what's going on with Derek and Jeff Nippod, you would know the same exact thing would happen to Derek.
There's a lot of people out there that kind of understand supplements a little bit better and are trying to do things the right way.
Yeah, and so where's my mention, Fuad? I mean, you know I've been vindicated. Where is my mention? He mentions Derek. Derek is the opposite of Coach Greg.
But they're using nowhere near the clinical dose. So I'm like, what are you, your claim is complete bullshit. But the funny thing is, there's nobody out there checking them.
Yeah, we checked them. I literally checked Derek again just to make sure that if I got sued, I would have chain of custody proof that I wasn't lying. Do I look like I'm lying? Would I call Derek out 15 freaking times if I was lying? Derek has even more money than Coach Greg. If I was lying, don't you think he would be suing me right now?
Yeah, the claim that Turkplex had turkesterone, it's complete bullshit. I mean, there was what, 0.36 milligrams, something like that?
What is telephone spelled backwards?
The word telephone spelled backwards is T-elephone.
We have over 50% more Turk than label claim. We have more, not less. One pill had more than the entire bottle. And so what did Derek say? No, we don't claim it has turkesterone. The turkesterone molecule was on the bottle. If you right-click the URL, turkesterone. And so, what do you think the truth actually is?
Or do you just want to make money and you don't really care how? Because if you start from the first principle of like, I want my supplements to be something I can use, like you wouldn't lie to yourself.
And so how many people think that I'm literally using Turk Platinum? How many of you believe that I'm not? Does one person out there think that I'm pretending to use my own supplements? Let's look at my physique and let's compare it to Derek's. Who do you think looks like they're taking their own supplements? Well, Derek might very well be taking his own Turk because he's lost 20 pounds of muscle. Coach Greg, on the other hand, I've gotten bigger and I haven't increased my dose of testosterone. I've posted my blood work numerous times for everyone to see, but has Derek done the same? And so no, I'm not gonna divulge Derek's cycle, of which I've been handed in secret. We don't want to get sued, but I know it. I know Derek's cycle. Former employees, when they leave, sometimes they carry with them their secrets and they share them to the world. But I was told, no, don't expose Derek. And so I won't.
You know, like I use a Genius Shot every day.
Right.
And it's not a marketing ploy. And I'm not formally affiliated with the brand. I buy Genius Shot with my own money.
And so Mike Israetel doesn't own Genius Shot. Like, he's not even an owner, yet he says it's PhD approved and he's been involved in the manufacturing. He's done all of these things, but he's not even an owner. He says he buys it himself with his own money. How many of you think I go out there and go buy Turk Builder Max? I go on HTLT supplements and I add to cart and I buy it. Like, you guys think I went out there and bought a bunch of cases of Turk? Like, really? I own the freaking company. Mike is a manufacturer of sorts, a consultant, if you will.
So, we have developed the Genius Shot.
He buys it himself? They can't ship him a couple crates of the freaking Genius Shot. Like, Mike, I thought you were in fact a genius with an IQ above 160. How come Coach Greg, who perhaps only has an IQ of 130, how come I'm smart enough to get them to send it to me for free?
Who am I compared to Mike Menser? Well, I'm bigger and stronger than Mike Menser. I'm more educated than Mike Menser. I know more things than Mike Menser. That's it.
Okay. I guess I'm Mike's friend. He's not here. So, Dr. Mike, first of all, I hope that you're being like tongue-in-cheek, kind of humorous. Otherwise, I fear either for your eyesight or your mental health. Because obviously, your physique's nowhere near Mike Menser, even with all the PEDs that you're taking, that you estimate will take 10 years off your life. Well, maybe you need to ask yourself whether it's worth it, mate, because a bag of shit that gets bigger is just a bigger bag of shit. Still a bag of shit. You know what I mean, mate?
Perhaps these IQ tests, they need some IQing. And so perhaps I've been eyeing my Q because this is ridiculous. What good is having an IQ if you don't know how to use it? I mean, where was his IQ when he wrote his PhD thesis? Oh, is it too soon? Too soon, Mike? 160 IQ, over 200 mistakes. My IQ, significantly lower than 160, but even I can write a paper with fewer mistakes than that.
I think you can make money quickly without a lot of integrity, and you can make money a little bit more slowly with a little bit more integrity.
I mean, it's such a perfect point that brought up by Fuad. You can make a lot of money quickly without integrity, but long term you make more money by keeping your integrity, which is exactly what we've done with Turk Builder Max and Turk Platinum. Notice, who's still selling Turk? HTLT supplements. What about Derek? And so, yeah, you can buy the Chinese stuff for very, very cheap. I could have bought it $5.85. That's how much they were going to charge me, $5.85. But it wouldn't have been a Juga Turkestanica from Uzbekistan. And so instead of that, I sourced it from Uzbekistan. We have a non-compete clause for 10 years. No one else can buy it from them and sell it in North America. And so we're the only ones in North America that's not selling you fake Ajuga. The only ones. And so when you go out there and you buy it from another company and say, oh, it wasn't as good as Greg was claiming, it's because you didn't get Ajuga. I'm sorry. That is the truth. That is what it is. And if you want to buy actual Ajuga from Uzbekistan, code Greg, 15% off. Click the link in the description.
When we started doing clothing, I was like, I don't like the way these jogging pants feel. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
Yeah, Fuad did the same thing with my clothing line. Took over a year. Did the same thing with my supplements. Do it again. Let's keep finding the actual source. And Derek and others continued to buy from China very cheap Ajuga, which wasn't actually Ajuga. It was most likely cyanosis. And that's why they could sell it significantly cheaper. Turk, aka Ajuga Turkestanica, is very rare. Why do you think I had to smuggle in 50 keys here, 50 keys there? Very difficult to get in. Exclusivity agreement, only we can get it. And trust me, I have the receipts of other companies thinking they could sneak one behind our backs. Our manufacturer, which is from Uzbekistan, sends us the letter, says, look what they're trying to do. And so I know, if you knew what I do, you would be thinking, wow, Greg, such an honest man with integrity. Derek, moving on.
Because, like, I'll give you an example. When I was with Muscle Tech, there was a bunch of shit I hated, but like some of the stuff is just garbage. But then other stuff I really liked. So, but I got paid to endorse all of it.
And so Fuad is saying, look, I work with 4 companies and I had to promote all of it. If you're interested in being an athlete with HGLT supplements, an ambassador, then apply right now. Click the link in the description. I don't even know how you apply. You can write HGLT Sups. There's a page on Instagram. You can apply right there. And so if you're interested, remember, I don't make you promote anything. You promote what you want. If you only want to promote Turk because that's the supplement that you like, you want to promote other brands, I don't care. Why would I care? Promote what you want. For example, if you want to promote Derek's stuff, by all means, promote Derek. I don't care, but you can use mine. And so you say, hey, I like creatine from this brand, and I like protein power from that brand, and I like Turk from this brand. You promote this from my brand, you promote the rest. That's what I want. I don't want you to pretend that you like the Seco bars. If you don't like the Seco bars, you don't promote the Seco bars. Why would I want that? I don't want you to lie. I only want you to say the truth. And so if you use Turk and say it didn't work, you say I used Turk and it didn't work. I don't care. You can still promote the brand. I only want honesty and integrity. If you don't like it, you say I didn't like it. If you want to get sponsored by other companies, you go get sponsored by other companies. This is how it works. You promote what you want and when you want it. And so if you're interested in being an ambassador, an athlete, come check us out. If you're already working with another brand, say to the other brand, you know what? I'm going to go and promote Turk from Coach Greg because I've been using it in secret, which you know that you are. Many of you out there are using Turk in secret, and you're not allowed to talk about it because you're sponsored by other companies. I don't give a shit. You can do whatever you want. And so you promote Turk and you can promote their friggin' pre-workout, whatever the heck that you want. Now, personally, I think we have the best of everything and you don't need to go anywhere else. But if you're interested, click the link in the description or apply by writing HTLT Supplements. Go follow them on Instagram.
The methodology, the conclusions, the findings, all that stuff is rock solid as far as I'm concerned.
And so Mike Israetel finally gets to the PhD. I mean, how could you ignore talking about this? Mike says the methodology, the conclusions, everything was rock solid. If that paper was rock solid, then a semi would be considered rock solid. Now, if you actually want to be rock solid, consider getting Harder Than Last Time Code Greg 15% off. A rock solid paper had 200 mistakes. 200! The tables didn't make any sense. He's saying he miscopied them. He copied them wrong. How is that rock solid? The conclusions, rock solid. Stronger athletes are stronger. How good you are at a sport is equal to skill A plus skill B plus skill C plus skill D. And so how good you are at a sport is equal to how good you are at the skills involved in that sport. Rock solid conclusions. You know, taller people are taller than shorter people. Rock solid conclusion. Heavier and larger athletes are stronger than smaller, tinier athletes. Rock solid conclusions. Well, when you say the obvious, I think it's going to be rock solid. But even in that, remember the tables were wrong? People were negative years old. Last I checked, you can't be negative years old and you can't weigh 4 pounds as an adult. 4 pounds. And so I digress. I guess that is considered rock solid. Well, my standards for university papers are beyond being rock solid. I don't know a smart word that means more than rock solid. A stiffy? I'd rather have a stiffy paper. Rock solid? Nah, it was a stiffy. That's the level we need.
What ended up happening was I flubbed the submission to the graduate school.
And so he flubbed it. Fuad's thinking, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a PhD. And so what does flubbed mean? Well, basically, flubbed is a bad sounding word, meaning you turked up. Flub means you turked up. He turked it off.
In front of a committee.
Sorry. I'm going to pretend I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. What does it mean when you say I flubbed?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I love that. Pretend I have no idea what you're talking about. You think Fuad understands what he's talking about? If you're interviewing Mike and you don't know what he's talking about, you're not going to understand by watching this. Mike is just like a politician. He's got the gift of gab. He can talk circles and make you think that he actually knows what he's saying.
Right.
And so that thing that I submitted, I essentially copy edited it wrong. And so I transposed a couple of tables such that it looked like the values were nonsensical.
How is that possible? You copy edit it so that the tables don't make any sense. I asked Marie. She has a PhD. She's a surgeon. She's in university for 11 years. And I said, how many times do you read over a paper before submitting it? Like a major paper, one that's really important. She said around 30. I said, really? 30 times? She said, yes. She says, since high school, if I had to pass in something, it had to be perfect. How do you think she had the highest average every single year, won all these awards? And remember, her IQ isn't even over 160. And so Mike is even smarter than Mepstagram, who has highest marks as an eye surgeon, making mucho dólares. She remembers Spanish from grade 10 more than Coach Greg had been studying for 600 days straight. She took the course for a couple of months. And so she would proofread it 30 times. I said, is it possible to have 200 mistakes? She says, my first draft, it's impossible to have 200 mistakes. Not possible. And so if she just stayed up all night partying harder than last time and wrote that thesis with no spell check, no grammar, there wouldn't be 200 mistakes. If your IQ is actually over 160, how could you have 200 mistakes after proofreading it? Even just one time. And so even on a first draft, impossible. I said, would you have possibly overlooked the graphs? No, it's not possible. It's no way. It couldn't happen. I said, yeah, but 1 in a million chance. Nope, couldn't happen. And so how did it happen? Your guess is as good as mine. I don't understand. How is it possible that Mike got that many mistakes if he's literally smarter than Mepstagram?
Folks who found it just recently basically just assumed that I meant all of that stuff.
But why did you do that?
I was like, why did you do that? But why are you gay?
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
And speaking of why you gay, remember that meme? Why does Mike Israetel make so many gay jokes in all of his videos? Remember what I said? Mike means the exact opposite of what he says in his videos. Sauf that. And I was told recently that sauf is a French word. I did not know this. I thought sauf meant, aside from that. And so, sauf his gay jokes, which are plentiful, lots. Sauf that, everything Mike says in videos and so on is the opposite of how he feels. Sauf, are you gay?
But you knew it was wrong.
Oh no, I didn't know it was wrong until it was surfaced to me 12 years later.
How did he not know it was wrong if his IQ is over 160? Mepstagram would proofread her papers 30 times. Mike had months and months and months to proofread, and so did he just not look over it even once? How is this possible?
And all the tables I had on file were completely correct. I literally just copied and pasted it on an offset.
Okay.
Like, oops.
Okay.
Oopsie! Mike in his quotes, he's a famous quote, oopsie! Fudged it. Fudged it? Fudged it. What was the word he used? I forget. It started with an F. Fuck it.
I guess technically I submitted the wrong draft to the graduate school. And it had like some formatting stuff, like the citations were formatted weird and odd stuff. So it was exclusively clerical errors.
Exclusively clerical errors now. Even if he had no mistakes whatsoever, aside from 200 spelling and grammar and commas and all that kind of stuff, 200 is embarrassing. Think of it, 200 mistakes on a PhD dissertation. And so how much effort does Mike actually put into his work? Oftentimes in videos, he'll say, Dr. Mike. He'll say, my PhD thesis. I'm this, I own that. I'm smarter than you. I'm bigger and stronger than Mike Menser. Give me 1 year and I'll be better than you at what you do best. And so what are we to say? Apparently, he's not better than a grade 6 student at spelling.
You are presuming you know more than me about the thing I'm one of the top experts in the world in, and also the thing I'm literally involved in myself. So whatever ideas you have about how I can improve, just right off.
And so they're highly incentivized to do it. It's like the exact same model that Greg Doucette uses, which is like, all love and respect. We got to make our money somehow. Talk that shit.
And so how many people think that Mike actually means that? Talk that shit. It's the Greg Doucette model. Go and talk that shit. I like it. Do you really think that he likes it? Do you really think that he likes Solomon talking shit about his PhD? Or do you think he hates it? Hates it so much that he tried to cover it up? I mean, really, put your thinking caps on. I mean, you don't need an IQ of 160 to understand what's going on.
And so this person went and somehow got access to my dissertation, did the least charitable, most bad faith critique of it possible as it's like a hit piece, right?
Yeah.
It's a bad faith hit piece. Did he not just go over his thesis and go over it? This is what a bad faith hit piece would look like. He would make up that he made errors. He would change the spelling around. He would purposely go for his first draft instead of his last. He took the final draft and made a video. It's not bad faith, it's simply accurate. When I go over videos and I talk about things, I'm giving you an accurate assessment of what I'm seeing. It doesn't mean it's in bad faith, it means it's accurate. If the paper was great, the evaluation would be great.
Which again is like lame, but also like respect. You know, like I'm popular or whatever, so take a shot, right? No problem.
And so he says it's both lame, but yet, hey, I'm popular, take a shot. He's saying one thing, but meaning another. And so Mike, in the same sentence, is saying it's a horrible thing to do, but hey, it's a great thing to do. See how he's political? He's explaining things like, hey, I love what he's done. Congrats to him. He should do that. But at the same time saying it's bad faith, hit piece, he's a horrible person.
And Greg and I are actually on totally fine terms. Like, I know he has a job to do, talk that shit. And I got a job to do of make content that actually teaches people shit.
If Mike had just said, you know what, 200 mistakes, it's embarrassing. I can't believe I did that. The tables are wrong. Wow. Man, 13 years ago, I was an idiot. Man, I was in university. I certainly didn't try as hard as I should. So glad I don't do that anymore. The world would have moved on. Like, who cares? This is a PhD thesis from over 10 years ago. I know I wouldn't have cared. Who cares? It's over 10 years ago. But it's the covering it up that the people don't like. And so, yeah, I'm just being real. I'm just being honest. People don't like the fact that you're lying and trying to cover it up in the same way they don't like that Jeff Nippert is deleting comments, attacking Solomon, and not apologizing, and thinking we're just going to move on. People don't like that.
Greg's made a number of videos about me as well. I do understand the model very well.
And so Fuad's thinking, you know, Greg has made videos about me like that. He's attacking things I've said. Yes, if Fuad makes a mistake, he says something incorrect, then I make a video to explain that he's incorrect. This is how it works. It's not my fault that Fuad has made mistakes. If I make mistakes, people are going to make videos about that. And so this is what happens. This is social media.
In my dissertation, most people, frankly, could care less. Most people just don't even know.
That's
most people could care less when they find out.
And so Mike is correct. Most people don't care, and most people don't know. But what people don't like is the fact that Mike is covering it up, that he has covered up. Notice, Mike doesn't speak about this on his own channel. He speaks about it on other channels because on his own channel, that would mean the people who watch him would then find out. It's a small number of people that actually know about this. Now, the more people that talk about it, the more people watch Solomon, the more people realize it. But by not talking about it on his own channel, it's a way of addressing it without addressing it to everyone.